The night before our breakup, my beauty queen girlfriend and I had a passionate night. John never expected that 2 weeks later, she'd be kicking down his apartment door, throwing a pregnancy test in his face, and yelling, "I'm pregnant. It's yours." I stared blankly at the test, 2 red lines blazing, then looked up at Lily, standing like a sentinel in the doorway. "What the hell? You're really pregnant?" In that instant, my muddled brain snapped to attention. Lily pushed past me into my apartment, sprawling onto the sofa like some hoodlum. "Vince told me you need to take responsibility," she declared. "Otherwise, I'll tell everyone you abandoned your wife and kids like Jack did 5 years ago." I gaped at the pregnancy test in her hand. She was really pregnant? And just like that, one shot and she was pregnant? 2 weeks ago, on that breakup night, we hadn't been able to control ourselves during our passionate encounter. Even now, my back still ached from it. Calculating the time, it really could be mine. Lost in thought, I noticed a faint red dye stain on my hand. The pregnancy test that had shown 2 lines a moment ago now only had one. In the next second, I looked up, my face blank, then blazing with fury. "Lily, you're going to die." I lunged at her in anger, but Lily wasn't fazed at all. She skillfully threw herself into my arms. I struggled and writhed, but couldn't break free. Staring intently at her, Lily smirked lazily. "You figured it out, huh? But too bad. I've already latched onto you." My face flushed crimson with rage. "Lily, don't you have any shame?" Lily tightened her grip around my neck, saying, "2 weeks ago, you devoured me completely and then ran away without even giving me a reason for the breakup." I felt a pang of guilt, stammering. "At the time, I just felt we weren't compatible, so I broke up with you." Lily chuckled. "Oh really? You seemed to enjoy yourself that night. Why didn't you say you felt incompatible then?" I was speechless, my face burning. Seeing my silence, her eyes darkened, then she laughed coldly. "If you don't want to talk, then I won't leave, honey. We'll just drag this out slowly." With that, Lily lounged back on my sofa, declaring, "Either you tell me the reason for the breakup, or we get back together." But I didn't want to agree to either. I could only helplessly close my bedroom door, regretting ever teasing this girl. Lily, 6 years younger than me, was a beautiful and lively university student at Prestige University. I got to know her through my younger sister, Bess. That stubborn girl Bess had never admitted defeat to anyone, but since starting university, she kept mentioning a classmate named Lily. She said Lily was outstanding, fair-skinned, beautiful, long-legged, and had tons of admirers. Moreover, Lily seemed particularly interested in my sister. Hearing this a few times, I thought my sister was being targeted by some pervert, so I went straight to my sister's university and met Lily. My sister was right. Her classmate was indeed a campus goddess, and there was no reason for her to pay attention to someone as naive as my sister. Relieved, I was about to leave when Lily chased after me, her eyes shining brightly. "Excuse me, can I have your phone number?" For some reason, I agreed, and that's how she started pursuing me intensely. Her initiative and enthusiasm were hard to resist, especially those endless long legs. So, before long, we were secretly seeing each other. Of course, I kept it hidden from my foolish younger sister. Just like that, whenever she wasn't in class, Lily would run to my rented apartment, clinging to me relentlessly. During that time, we were inseparable. I thought this relationship would have a happy ending, until Lily's mother came looking for me. She directly demanded that I leave Lily. I tried to persuade her with my deep feelings, but all I got in return were sarcastic and mocking remarks. "You can't give my daughter a future." At that moment, looking at the $1 million necklace on her wrist, I felt I truly wasn't worthy. Because her family was incredibly wealthy, and I was just a toad trying to eat swan meat. I was lying in bed, recalling these unhappy memories, when the apartment door clicked open. Someone hugged me from behind and kissed my neck. I tried to suppress the longing in my heart, gently pushing Lily away with my elbow. "Let go of me. I'm telling you again, we've broken up. Your actions are harassment." I tried to sound cold. Lily gently nibbled on my ear. "I haven't agreed to break up. Lily, I'm informing you that we've broken up, not asking for your opinion." "I'm not listening. I'm not listening," she chanted, skillfully lifting my shirt. "Get out of here. I miss you. Honey, don't reject me, please." Her husky, deliberately seductive voice made my legs go weak. The hands that were pushing her away now wrapped around her neck, half pushing, half embracing. We tumbled back into each other. The next day, I was awakened by Lily still holding me tightly. I gradually came to my senses and jumped up, pushing her away under her innocent gaze. Get out of here. If there's a next time, I'm calling the police. Lily sat on the floor, looking at me in disbelief. Last night was just a mistake. If it was any other girl who kissed you, you wouldn't have refused either. So, don't bother me anymore. It'll be awkward if we bump into each other. Lily pursed her lips, her eyes filled with sadness and disappointment. In the next second, she put on her clothes, her face cold, and walked straight out. The sound of the door slamming echoed in the room. I deleted all of Lily's contact information and moved apartments again. In my spare time, I still often thought of Lily. Every time I recalled the memories with her, my heart was filled with bitterness, making my eyes sting. After that, I avoided Lily even more, throwing myself into work to numb myself, afraid that one day I would accidentally hear that she had a new boyfriend. One day, seeing that I seemed off, a colleague invited me out for dinner. I didn't know what program the restaurant had that day, but it was very crowded. I was eating halfway through when I got up to go to the restroom. Just as I turned the corner, I saw a young man shyly confessing his love to a beautiful girl. I froze in place. Damn it, I'd run into my ex-girlfriend. Noticing my footsteps, the girl also turned her head. Our eyes met, and the air suddenly became awkward. I hesitated, planning to turn away, when Lily's voice suddenly deepened, sounding like a hoodlum. John, you dare take one step and see what happens. I didn't take one step, I ran. But I hadn't run more than a few steps when she grabbed the back of my shirt, pulling me back. Then she pinned me against the wall, my escape route completely blocked. Knew you'd run, you liar. She hugged me tighter, possessiveness blazing, just like those nights she'd pester me, making me unable to resist. My face flushed. I glimpsed the young man looking over here with surprise mixed with a hint of hostility. I quickly explained, "Oh, we're classmates, don't misunderstand. I'm her older brother." The hostile look on the young man's face disappeared, but Lily wasn't happy. Older brother? Then she scoffed, raising her head, intending to kiss me. This woman was normally arrogant and used to getting her way, completely disregarding the situation. I pinched her hard, finally making her stop. My face was cold, about to say something, but just then a stranger passed by, noticing the narrow passage was blocked by us. Embarrassed, they spoke up. "Excuse me, can you two show affection somewhere else? I really need to pee." Lily finally let go of me to make way. I seized the opportunity and slipped away quickly. Luckily, the restaurant was crowded today, and where my colleagues and I were sitting was in a secluded corner, so Lily didn't catch up. She stood there, her face gloomy and scary. After a while, my sister coaxed her into a private room. I breathed a sigh of relief, but my mood was heavy. Lily coming today was probably for that gathering. With so many guys her age, there would definitely be someone suitable for her. It was good that way, so I wouldn't be holding her back anymore. After dinner, saying goodbye to my colleagues, I planned to call a car to go home when I realized my phone was missing. Guessing I dropped it at the restaurant, I had to go back. I gritted my teeth, hoping not to run into Lily again. But the more you fear something, the more likely it is to happen. When I came out of the restaurant, I still saw Lily. Maybe she was drunk, her eyelids slightly drooping, her posture unsteady. Suddenly, she frowned, rubbing her stomach, looking a bit lonely and pitiful. I tried to harden my heart, but I still couldn't. Sighing, I walked towards her, stomach uncomfortable. Hearing my voice, she slowly raised her head, her eyes that were just a moment ago hazy, suddenly sharp. "Uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Need you to kiss me to make it better. You've already gotten a ride, and you're still playing tricks." I glared at her, taking out my phone to call my sister, but no one answered. That kid must be causing trouble too. I frowned, looking at the hand that was openly groping me. "I'll take you back to the dorm. Is there anyone to take care of me there?" "No." "What about your roommates and classmates?" "They're out partying all night, not coming back to school." "Then I'll take you to a hotel." "I'm allergic to hotels. I break out in rashes all over whenever I sleep in one. Before, when we went to hotels together. Why didn't I see you have allergies?" I endured as much as I could. "Then where do you want to go?" She hugged me tightly, acting spoiled, burying her face in my neck. "Honey, I want to go to your place." Because of my ex-girlfriend, I couldn't leave her drunk and alone. I had no choice but to take her home. On the way, the girl who had just been so weak she had to cling to me to stand was now starting to observe her surroundings. I was too lazy to pay attention to her, letting her memorize as much as she wanted. Let her play her rabbit hole game to annoy me. When I opened the door of my rented apartment, Lily's eyes were hazy again, clinging to me, calling out random names. Sometimes honey, sometimes husband, sometimes baby. Basically all the pet names she used in bed, she called them all out. In her drunken stupor, her husky voice made me both embarrassed and itchy. I regretted it now. I should have just left her by the roadside to fend for herself. Sighing, I let her sleep on my bed, then took off her shoes and wiped her face for her, gentle and considerate. The corners of the drunk girl's eyes were reddish. Combined with her delicate eyebrows, it made me flustered. Unable to resist, I gently touched her nose. If only I were your age, how wonderful would that be? That way, I could be a little braver. I blinked, intending to pretend nothing happened and withdraw my hand, but my hand was suddenly grasped tightly. Lily, not knowing when, had opened her eyes, staring at me intently with a smile that was both determined and lazy. John, you're lying. It's obvious you love me to death. I still refuse to admit it. No, you're seeing things. I'm helping you swat a mosquito. Lily scoffed, holding my hand, playing mischievously, both provocative and ambiguous. I'm not stupid. Someone must have said something to you, right? I felt a pang of guilt, denying it. Lily stared into my eyes, starting to guess. Your sister? Your parents? Or your colleagues? Neighbors? Finally, she stopped, her voice turning cold. Or is it my mother who came looking for you? I helplessly closed my eyes. Girls these days are just too smart. No wonder I couldn't deceive her. But I didn't nod in agreement because I didn't know what Lily would choose after I told the truth. Family affection was important. Love was also very important. Both were important, but different. Whichever Lily chose, the other would be abandoned. So, I didn't want to force her. I was about to hint at persuading her when I realized she had fallen asleep holding my hand, her breathing even, her eyebrows slightly furrowed. I silently watched her for a long time, then withdrew my hand and went to sleep on the sofa. The next morning, I left for work before Lily woke up. All day, I was restless, wondering if she had woken up yet, if she had overslept and missed class, if she was still in pain. This state of mind really made me both laugh and want to cry. Don't worry too much. Anyway, Lily and I can't be together. That night, when I dragged my weary steps home, I discovered a missing set of keys on the coffee table. There was a note on the table. Honey, if I took them, it means I've thought it through thoroughly. Now, should I move again? But looking at the meager balance in my account, I felt discouraged. Pursuing girls was too expensive, I couldn't afford it. But Lily, if you've taken my house keys, don't come to my place again. That wasn't like her arrogant personality. I thought she had suddenly seen sense and given up on the idea of getting back together. Until my sister's 18th birthday. My sister started school early, a year younger than her peers, meaning when Lily was 19, she had experienced all kinds of condoms, while my sister was still obsessed with baby and goddess. These two were truly worlds apart. My parents valued this coming-of-age birthday for my sister very much, wanting to give her some money to go out with friends, but my sister knew the family wasn't well off, so she declined the money, arranging a warm family dinner with friends that was both cheap and fun. To avoid Lily causing trouble in front of everyone, the day before the birthday, I subtly asked my sister, "Are your roommates also coming to our house to play on your birthday?" "Yes, but Lily isn't coming. It seems she's been arguing with her mother lately. Today, after class, she's going straight home." I awkwardly asked, "Your roommate is rebellious?" My sister lowered her voice, a bit indignant. "Lily isn't rebellious. She's resisting her mother's harsh control. Her family is very rich. Her mother is very strict, forcing her to follow every planned path. For example, studying abroad or marrying someone and then inheriting the family fortune. Lily rebelled and ran away from home. Her mother saw that she was too stubborn and then softened her stance. Otherwise, Lily would still have to work part-time to earn money." I asked with difficulty, "Part-time? Since when?" "Since freshman year, before you came to school looking for me. Only then did she not have to work part-time anymore," almost exhausting herself. We all felt sorry for her. The more my sister talked, the angrier she got. Finally, she nestled against me. Acting spoiled, Luckily, Mom and Dad, and you always let me be free. That's why I'm so happy. That's called being silly. I laughed, pushing her away, a growing unease in my heart. I had always thought Lily was a carefree person, not having to worry about food and clothing, not having to worry about the future, wanting to do whatever she wanted, arrogant and willful, usually pretending to be very strong in front of me. Unexpectedly, she was the one with the most hidden pain, and I had pushed her into a fire pit. I wanted to call Lily, but I was afraid her mother would see it, and then the family conflict would worsen. Let's wait until she gets back to school, and we'll talk later. The next day was my sister's birthday. As her older brother, I had to go home to help entertain her friends. As soon as I entered the door, I saw a beautiful girl standing next to my mother. The girl had said something that made my mother smile from ear to ear. Perhaps sensing my blank stare, the girl looked up at me. That face stood out against the simple and warm backdrop of my family. She smiled. "Brother, you're back." Her obedient and sensible attitude was completely different from her usual rogue and boastful demeanor when teasing me. It seemed she was in a good mood. Could it be that the conversation with her mother went smoothly? Or was she pretending again? But in front of so many people, I only glanced at her, signaling her not to cause trouble. The girl raised her eyebrows in response. My mother, not noticing the undercurrent between us, pulled me to continue greeting guests. My parents were older, and my sister's friends were not comfortable, so I took the excuse to take a walk. I had to entertain guests alone. Luckily, my sister's friends were all very sweet. "Hello, brother. Heard Kiki has a handsome older brother. Turns out it's not an exaggeration. Brother, no need to pour water for us. That's my brother. Don't call him randomly." I gently patted my sister who was bristling. "Chat with your little friends. Do you guys want anything else to eat? I'll make it or order food for you." "No need. No need, brother. After eating, let's play games for a bit, okay?" "Brother." I was thinking of how to refuse when my hand was grasped. "Play for a bit, brother." Lily naturally joined in, everyone urging me. I pretended to be calm, glancing at her, her earlobes flushed. Not knowing when, she had squeezed in beside me, smiling at me. Luckily, our hands holding each other were hidden under the table. No one saw. During the meal, to avoid others noticing anything, I deliberately kept the distance from Lily. As a result, the girl kept picking food for me, causing me to choke. She immediately handed me water. This unusual behavior naturally attracted my sister's attention. She blinked blankly, looking at us. "Brother and sister Lily, when did you guys become so close?" I hurriedly explained. "Oh, I and sister Lily just met and hit it off." "That's right. Love at first sight can also be considered hitting it off at first sight." Lily chimed in. I hurriedly nodded. My sister still wanted to ask something, but was distracted by other classmates. I breathed a sigh of relief, secretly pinching Lily. The girl didn't change expression, still using her foot to touch my leg under the table. After the meal, after cleaning up the table, I played games with the kids. The game was very popular, truth or dare, spinning a bottle on the table. Whoever the bottle pointed to had to be punished. At first, they were a bit hesitant, but later, with the alcohol kicking in, the atmosphere became lively. Luckily, the neighbors near my house had moved away long ago. Otherwise, we would definitely be getting knocks on the door. I smiled, watching them play. Lily kept looking at me. Suddenly, the bottle pointed at me. The classmate scratched her head in embarrassment. "Brother, you choose truth or dare?" I thought for a moment. Truth. This question is interesting. "Brother, are you still in love with your ex-girlfriend?" My sister laughed mockingly, interrupting directly. "Don't talk nonsense. He's never even been in a relationship. Where would he get an ex-girlfriend? If he had one, I would have beaten her to death." "Okay, then I'll change the question." I whispered. "Actually, I do." My sister was stunned. Under everyone's burning gaze, I slowly answered. "Actually, I'm still in love with her." Someone chuckled beside me, seemingly in a very good mood, except for my sister, who was still dumbfounded. Others all laughed knowingly. The bottle continued to spin, this time pointing to Lily beside me. So coincidental. "Sister Lily, the question is the same as the question just now. Are you still in love with your ex-boyfriend?" I worriedly lowered my head, but perked up my ears to listen. I only heard the girl lazily say, "If it weren't for not being old enough to get married according to the law, I would have dragged him to the government office to register already. Everyone, ooh, Ed, probably remembering that Lily had been in a bad mood before because of her ex-boyfriend. Unexpectedly, she was so devoted. Lily smiled, not saying anything more. As for me, I raised my head, my face flushed. To avoid my sister asking about my relationship, I took the excuse to go to the restroom. When I was bending down to wash my hands, my heart was still pounding. Oh no, I just blurted out what was in my heart, and I also found out that this girl Lily had such intentions. How old is she? And she's already thinking about marriage. Okay, after my sister's birthday is over, I'll talk to her. The important thing is to know the situation of her argument with her mother this time. If she chooses her family, I will completely let go. If she chooses me, I will try to pull her out of the fire pit. While lost in thought, the restroom door was pushed open slightly. I was about to say someone's here, when someone hugged me tightly from behind. Two small hands reached out, wanting me to wash hands together, but this way of washing hands made me blush, my heart racing. I panicked, my eyes darting around, whispering to the person who came, "Lily, what if someone sees us?" Lily pressed even closer. "So what if they see? So what if my husband and I hug and wash hands? Do you know shame?" I fi-fi-ed twice. She took 2 tissues, wiped my hands, then turned me around to face her, her expression extremely serious. "John, what I just said was true." "What was true?" "Wanting to marry you, loving you, it's all true. I already know that my mother has looked for you." Those words she said, you don't need to listen to them, because I won't listen either. I hesitated, but no buts. Trust me. After that, she told me the reason why her mother was so strict with her. It was because her father had cheated when Lily was young. This was not uncommon in wealthy circles. Lily's mother arrogantly went to catch the adulterers, wanting to see what kind of vixen wanted to climb up. As a result, she was dumbfounded. It was a middle-aged woman, 6 years older than Lily's mother, with a haggard face and messy hair, fearfully hiding behind Lily's father, completely opposite to the bright and proud appearance of her mother. Her mother couldn't believe that her family would be destroyed by such an inferior mistress. At that time, Lily was also forced to follow along, witnessing this dramatic scene. She only coldly said to her father, "Dad, you're really too hungry." Lily's father almost lost face, but still defended the mistress. Afterwards, her parents divorced. Lily's mother took a large sum of money, becoming more and more successful. Lily's father and the mistress also lived quite happily. The mistress also had a daughter the same age as Lily, directly participating in the inheritance battle with Lily's mother. This made her mother furious. Therefore, she began to strictly discipline Lily, forbidding her from contacting all older men. So, when she found out I was 6 years older than Lily, she was very shocked. Hearing this, I felt very uncomfortable. Lily's mother was actually not a domineering and arrogant person. She was just too deeply hurt in her marriage, so she developed a fear. In the end, it was all men's fault. "Is your mother okay? She'll figure it out herself. Talking too much is useless. As long as you can be by my side forever, that's enough." The girl spoke with a firm voice, making me, who was already not firm, even more infatuated. "You're so good. Then let's kiss." Lily leaned closer, her voice husky. She obediently nestled in my arms. I lowered my head to kiss her. Just as I helped her up, placing her on the wash basin, the restroom door slammed open. I hurriedly turned my head, looking straight into the stunned face of my sister. My face darkened. Oh no, everything is in a mess now. My sister came back to her senses, trembling, pointing at us. You two, what are you doing?" "Lily, I treat you like a sister, yet you dare to mess with my brother. So, all along, you've been probing about my brother for this reason. You're really a vixen." Lily calmly wiped her mouth, even glancing at my sister with a dissatisfied expression. "Remember to knock next time. Don't disturb me and your brother." My sister angrily glared, her eyes wide. I pushed Lily. "Shut up, don't add fuel to the fire. How would you know my sister is so fragile?" My sister had already started grinding her teeth, preparing to bite someone. I hurriedly pulled my sister into the room, starting a heart-to-heart talk between brother and sister. I had been very close to my sister since childhood, even taking care of her more than my parents. Now, talking about love was a bit awkward, especially since my girlfriend was her roommate. "Brother, I'm not listening. My sister's face was gloomy, not wanting to talk. Break up. Break up with her. I can't. Then what about your ex-girlfriend? My sister suddenly realized. I embarrassedly scratched my head, smiling awkwardly. It's also her. We had a fight before. My sister was stunned. So, she was heartbroken because of you? And you even moved apartments overnight because of her? You're playing hide and seek with her? You can run, but you can't hide. If she had said these rebellious words normally, I would have slapped her already, but today she was a bit pitiful, so I endured. We like each other, that's why we're together. How long has it been? Half a year. My sister laughed coldly. Then she started rummaging for things. What are you looking for? Looking for goo. I'll chop that vixen to death. After seeing the guests off, I told my parents to go to bed, while I cleaned up the house with my sister. Lily, of course, stayed to help. My sister immediately showed a displeased attitude, sulking the whole evening. Lily would occasionally tease her, making her constantly flare up, jumping up and down. As a result, when I was about to go home with Lily, my sister also trailed along, glaring at Lily. Don't even think about taking advantage of my brother. Tonight, I'm sleeping on the sofa. I wanted to have a heart-to-heart with my girlfriend, but I had to endure it. When kids are disobedient, you have to indulge them. So, I had no choice but to bring two gloomy-faced girls back to my rented apartment. I went to shower first, leaving them sitting on the sofa, glaring at each other. One sister sat on one corner of the sofa, Lily sat on another corner. Truly, two little generals. I had a headache, so I closed the door and went to sleep. Lily caused the trouble, let her solve it herself. As a result, in the middle of the night, I was awakened by the sound of the bed collapsing. Turning my head, I saw Lily. She frowned, whispering, acting spoiled with me. Your sister is so annoying. Okay, don't talk about her anymore. Taking the opportunity while my sister was asleep, I kissed my honey. We were just about to kiss when the bedroom door was pushed open. My sister dimly appeared at the door. What are you doing? In that instant, countless swear words appeared on Lily's face. No matter how strong her mentality was, she couldn't kiss me in front of my sister. So, she had to awkwardly leave. My sister huffed, full of pride. I was both amused and annoyed. The next morning, I pulled my yawning girlfriend aside at school. Don't tease her anymore. What if she gets angry and breaks off sisterhood with you? Lily took the opportunity to kiss me. Don't worry. Tomorrow I'll make her obediently call me sister-in-law. From now on, she won't bother us anymore. I thought she was joking. Unexpectedly, the next day, the two of them came to my rented apartment together. My sister followed behind Lily listlessly, as if drained of all energy. What's wrong? Lily naturally said. She didn't accept me, so I played tennis with her all afternoon. What was the result? She lost miserably and agreed to our relationship. My sister retorted, I didn't agree. I just didn't object. If you two break up, I will definitely object. Anyway, my sister was still a bit unhappy, but she wasn't angry at Lily anymore, still going to school and back to the dorm together as usual. After thinking for a long time, I took the initiative to talk to my parents. My parents were stunned for a moment after hearing it. That beautiful and well-educated girl from last time. Yes. My mother smiled and nodded. Good. If you think you're compatible, then that's good. I think that girl is also good. My father also waved his hand, telling me to decide for myself. Lily had just heard this, and that night she brought a bunch of food to my house, wholeheartedly caring for and pleasing my parents. My sister, although unhappy, still reluctantly helped her please my parents. The atmosphere was warm and harmonious. But not long after, Lily's mother came looking for me again. This time, she brought a ring that could buy an entire street. On the surface, I appeared calm, but in reality, my legs were already trembling. Lily's mother assessed me, her eyes cold. It must be said that Lily's femme fatale face really had some resemblance to her mother. Of course, I didn't call Lily's mother a femme fatale. After all, she was also a pitiful person. I've done some investigating. Graduated from a 985 university, then went to work at a big company, clean and positive life, handsome. John, I'm not exaggerating. I swallowed nervously, saying, Thank you, madam. My daughter is very stubborn, even a bit obsessive in relationships. Do you really think you can be with her long-term? I breathed a sigh of relief. It wasn't directly giving me a check to chase me away. That was good enough. I thought for 2 seconds, then said, I really like her very much. I find those shortcomings of hers very endearing. Then what if she falls in love with someone else later? She wanted to say cheats after marriage. I said with a serious face, I will decisively leave. This time it was Lily's mother's turn to be flustered. Huh? She laughed sarcastically. I thought you would say she won't cheat. Humans are unpredictable, even if the outcome is not good. But I have experienced the time with her, that's enough. Lily's mother sat there for a long time without saying anything. I also didn't know if those positive energy words of mine had any effect on her. Just as I was about to continue pouring more bowls of chicken soup for the soul, Lily's mother revealed a very satisfied smile. You're right. But before my daughter graduates, I still don't want to be a grandmother, please. My face flushed red, stammering, assuring. There won't be such a thing. She helped me close the drawer that was slightly open, then stood up and left, her back straight and proud. Women come into this world, first living off their father's family for a while, then going to their husband's family to live for a few years, and finally relying on their children. A lifetime is like a guest, eventually dissolving into dust between heaven and earth. It's really pitiful. When Lily finished school, I told her about her mother coming to see me. She laughed knowingly after hearing it. She's figured it out herself already. Besides that, did she say anything else? I smiled. She also asked me, what if my daughter cheats? Lily stopped. You stopped? You're going to cheat. I won't ever cheat, okay? I'm not sure. I laughed, teasing her. Anyway, your sister said today a male student confessed to you, a grand scene. Lily held my hand, walking naturally. I directly said that I already have a boyfriend, and we're getting married soon. This sentence was really heartbreaking, but I felt relaxed in my heart. I proactively leaned closer to her, walking home together. Oh, your mother asked you that question. How did you answer? I truthfully recounted. I said I would run away quickly. Lily's face instantly darkened, grinding her teeth, leaning closer to kiss me. I won't cheat, because I really like you. Who knows? After all, you were love at first sight with me. In other words, you're narcissistic. The girl scoffed. You're wrong. Actually, I've known you for a long time. It can be said that I've been plotting for you for a long time. I was stunned to hear that, immediately asking her, when did you know me? But Lily only smiled playfully. Tonight, staying up all night, I'll tell you the Lily's extra story. When I returned to the dorm, my roommates were joking around. Kiki, brother obsessed. Your brother called once and you abandoned our ranking match. Really? Sorry, my sisters. Kiki smiled, admitting her mistake. My roommates took the opportunity to threaten. Then let us see a picture of your brother. Then we'll forgive you. Just look. Only one glance, okay? Hey, Sister Lily, come and see. My roommates called me over. I lazily walked over. I had always known Kiki had an older brother, because she was always bragging in the dorm that her brother was handsome, gentle, and treated her very well. Later, whoever married her brother, she would investigate that woman's family background. I had never understood until Kiki secretly showed me a picture of her brother. I was stunned. Because her brother, I knew him. That year, to escape my mother's control, I resolutely applied to a university far from home. My mother, who always had a strong, controlling personality, flew into a rage, cutting off my living expenses, not giving me tuition, wanting to force me to study abroad. But I didn't turn back, going to the factory to earn money myself. On the first day of university enrollment, I carried my luggage, squeezing out of the train station when it started to rain heavily. Reluctant to buy an umbrella, I decided to wait in a corner. Let me borrow my umbrella, little sister. Go home early. A warm, deep male voice sounded above my head. Then, someone placed an umbrella in my hand. When I looked up, I only saw the side profile of a young man, soft short hair, a bright smile like the spring sunshine, making me unforgettable. After that, my mother yielded. I still occasionally went to that train station, but never met him again. Unexpectedly, he was my roommate's older brother. My name is John. I smiled, the corners of my mouth lifting. After that, I was very good to Kiki. From her mouth, I also learned more about her brother. Just when I was thinking of ways to meet John, he took the initiative to come. Not knowing what he misunderstood, as soon as he saw me, he was very wary, afraid I would get close to his sister. He didn't remember me, even thought I would corrupt his sister. It's okay, I will let him get to know me again. So, I took advantage of Kiki not paying attention, chasing after him. "Excuse me, can I have your phone number?" He was a bit surprised, but then nodded in agreement. Having never pursued anyone before, I kept finding ways to give him the best patience and indulgence. Knowing he couldn't resist my face and figure, I deliberately seduced him, occasionally pretending to be pitiful. Sometimes I felt like I was a green tea B***TCH. Just like that, I watched him go from polite and distant to shy. Finally, when I kissed him, he didn't evade. In that moment, my heart was filled with happiness. Every day being with him, I was very happy. I liked his sleepy look when he just woke up, liked him rubbing my sore muscles for me after exercise, liked his gentle voice when scolding me. I loved him more and more every day. If it weren't for the law not allowing it yet, I would have dragged him to the government office to register for marriage already. While imagining the happy scene of marrying him after graduation, he disappeared. The apartment was empty. I was so angry that I gritted my teeth, turning to ask Kiki, "Have you heard anything about a pervert appearing in Happy Apartment recently?" Kiki was startled, then breathed a sigh of relief. "Oh my God, really? My brother is living there," I anxiously reminded, telling her to tell her brother to move. Kiki naively said, "My brother just moved to Fifth Avenue. So coincidental." I laughed coldly. After that, I guess the reason for John breaking up with me must be because of my mother. I called her, and she scolded me fiercely, so I went home to talk to her directly. "Why did you go looking for him?" My mother angrily said, "He's 6 years older than you. Definitely not a good person. You can't be deceived by that kind of person like your mother was. You are my only hope. I don't want you to be inferior to that child in anything." I looked at my mother's distorted face, calmly saying, "Mom, you're a bit scary." My mother was stunned, then tried to regain her composure, but I bluntly exposed the facade she had maintained for so long. "Your marriage failed not because of you, but because of Dad. Your image to society is a successful and independent woman, so why are you still clinging to the past? Dad is no longer as good as you are now. You should be happy, shouldn't you? I'm not Dad. I like John. I like him openly and honestly. You can't stop me. What you should do is liberate yourself." My mother stood there for a long time without saying anything. I didn't know if she listened, but her tense shoulders seemed to have relaxed a bit. Luckily, she listened. As long as she liberated herself, I would liberate John.